Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cancer, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. So if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. So before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So quick note for your key to the week, right? This week we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, this is great because it usually means that in some way, shape or form, you are in the right space at the right time. Now, when we talk about in the right place at the right time, usually we would say like, you know, you have that synchronistic moment where you're in the right place, where you're, you know, you hear the right conversation or you make the right move, all of that. That's very possible, you know, even still with everything that's going on. But with obviously the wider world situation, the way that it is, this could be information that you are privy to. This could be a conversation that you have or a connection that is made online or in the digital sphere. The reason I'm mentioning this is because a lot of people recently have been like, well, you know, I can't go anywhere because I'm in lockdown. That's fine, but life hasn't stopped. I don't know if anybody's noticed. Yes, it's slowed down and yes, it's changed its direction, but it hasn't stopped. We're still moving, everything is still going. So there are other ways that these energies can find you. Another thing with the Wheel of Fortune, this is very often the result of efforts that you've already put in. So this is kind of like the universe's way of saying, I saw that time that you helped that old lady across the street and, you know, nobody was there to say thank you. Or, you know, it's a really crude example, but you get my point. Very often the Wheel of Fortune shows up to remind you that what you have put out into the world is coming back to you. And because it is the Wheel of Fortune, it always talks about a change in your luck. There's something about your world that is changing or shifting this week. And very often with the Wheel of Fortune, you know, unless it's got very specific cards surrounding it, which you can learn in my tarot course in the fall. Just to put it out there. All jokes aside though, but you know, this very often the shift in luck is a good one, right? It's one that's going to be beneficial for us. For your actions and options this week, you have the Ace of Swords. This is you starting something afresh, starting something over, or starting something new. Now, what I really like about this could be anything from a course to a program right through to a new job. Whatever you are starting this week, it's like there's this energy behind it that basically says it's all you, right? Your mind is sharp, you're focused, you're aware that the synchronicities, the energy and the luck are working with you. This is about you discovering how to swim with the slipstream. This is the only image that I have in my mind. It's like, you know, if you've ever seen it, Finding Nemo, really, but you know, like when they go into the slipstream, it's like when you find that energy and you can steer, like with a bird with the wind, when they find the right current, it's just gliding, baby, it's easy. And that's the energy, like that's the energy that I'm getting from the Ace of Swords. It's like your mind this week is switched on. You're aware of where you need to go, of how to use certain information, of how to really put your best foot forward. And it's a new beginning, right? It's an ace after all. It's the Ace of Swords. Whatever contract you are starting, whatever program, course, whatever you're starting this week, something about it has you really moving forward. It's like you found where you're supposed to be, and the steps that follow after are going to be like silk. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Four of Swords. Okay, so what you need to know about communication this week, it's likely that the communications that you are having this week are either very focused on the work, the profession, or the even academic pursuits. That's going to be where your focus has to be, right? This week is very important, Cancer. Please, please, please do not waste it. There's something about this, just from these three cards alone, there's something about this week that basically says whatever you are doing this week is an imprint. So you really need to pay attention. You really need to make sure that the foot that you put forward is the best one. And what that looks like is as little interaction with the outside as possible. Now, what I mean by that is, if you've got that one friend, you know, that always says like, oh, you say, oh, you know, I'm planning to do this. And they're like, oh, but what if it doesn't work? Anything or anyone that does that in your life this week, you've got to steer clear, right? Your communication this week has to be kept to a minimum. Unless these people are on the same wavelength as you, unless their energy is as buoyant and as powerful as yours, steer clear. This is a week where you've got to stay focused. For those of you that are working for somebody else, it's going to be a much easier week this week. You might even find as well that this could be a week where you get a bonus. It may even be a week where you get tapped on the shoulder and they say to you, look, you know, this is coming up and actually we would really like to put you forward for it. But it's just an easier week. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is really nice because it suggests that while things are moving this week, it's like the energy behind you is, you know that saying when they say like, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. This is that, baby. Pay attention. For those of you that are retired or no longer working in any way, shape or form, enjoy the time that you have, right? Please enjoy the time that you have, whether it's that you take 5 minutes out to eat a bloody ice lolly on a, what do they call them, hammock, or you know, something really frivolous, or you go on a swing in a park, like whatever it is that is going to really get you present in this moment in time and enjoying the time that you have, especially the time that you have to yourself. Very important this week. For your money and materials, you have the Two of Pentacles. I'm calling it. This is an important week, guys. Do not waste it. You got to be present. You got to be present, you got to be focused. This card is very often about expansion, but it's slow, steady, progressive expansion. It's not fast, in your face, boom, here's cash or money raining from the sky. It's really not that. It's not going to be that. It never will be, because this is Jupiter in Capricorn. And I know this, Jupiter in Capricorn gives, in the end, when it finally gives, it gives exquisite, luxurious, right? It gives you all of that. But you got to work for it and you got to be prepared for it to take time. Whatever you start this week is likely to take you on a very big journey for the next 2 years. Pay attention. This is a big prediction that I'm making. Usually my cards come out, I mean, very often, even the longer predictions in my weekly predictions are very often no more than 6 months to 8 months into the future sometimes. But when these big sort of long-term ones come through, I'm like, yeah, there's something very special about this week for Cancerian people, Sun, Moon or Ascendant. What I will say to you as well with this Two of Pentacles, when it comes to your money and your finances, take this moment, this whole week, as a point of imprint, and you fix your eye, you fix your gaze on that goal, right? You fix your eye, you fix your gaze, your heart, all of your energies on that one specific goal, and you walk steadily towards it. And you make a pledge with yourself this week that no matter what comes up, you will make it to that finish line. Very important. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the throat, the neck and the voice, look after these this week. It's going to be important. When it comes to your home and environment, well, look, for some of you, home is coming up for review. This could be a change of contracts. This could be you maybe find the place that you want to move to, the destination. For some of you, this is you looking at the finances around moving. What am I going to need? How much is it going to cost me? Can I afford this in the long run? All of this stuff is going to be very, very prominent this week. And then finally, for your love and relations, you got the Five of Pentacles. All right, so not a great card. Let's call a spade a spade. However, the Five of Pentacles very often says to us that what we lose now is possible for regain at a later date. So when it comes to those of you that are partnered or in relationships, you have a lot going on this week, and so therefore the relationship might suffer that. It's like, you know, maybe your partner says, oh, you know, you're a bit more quiet than you usually are, maybe you seem a bit more withdrawn, and it's in large part because there's so many big things going on. When it comes to your those of you that are single, well, look, it's the Five of Pentacles, all right? This is not a great card for many things, to be completely honest with you. And it's definitely not a great card for love. What this suggests to me is that this is the end for those of you that are in situationships. Y'all know who you are. These will be coming to an end. Something about that is coming up for review. And if you are single this week, this is a week for you to focus on everything else, because this week, whatever you feel like you know, maybe you feel like, oh, you know, I'm bankrupt in the love department, Five of Pentacles. But, you know, if that's the trade-off for now, even for the next 2 years, let's say, isn't it going to be worth it when you finally do have it? Jupiter in Capricorn, it gives its blessings slowly, but when it gives them, they are about as big and as luxurious as they possibly can be. I guess the question this week, Cancer, is what you have worth? Is what you have now worth what you could have for a little bit of delayed gratification? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how this one shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.